All right, we were going to talk right now about what parents and educators can do to intervene with a student who they think might be exhibiting some warning signs. We're going to talk right now to Stephen Kurtz. He is the Senior Director at the Child Mind Institute's Behavior Disorder Center. Welcome. Thanks for being on the show with us.
Thank you.
Every conversation around the dinner table in homes this weekend has to have been around, especially parents with children. What are the warning signs to look at, but how do you differentiate warning signs between children who might just have troubled behaviors and someone who actually has the ability to commit such a heinous crime, Stephen?
We know a lot about troubled behaviors. I don't think we have any way of predicting this kind of unbelievably rare sort of event. But day in, day out, there are 10 to 15 million American kids who have psychiatric disorder. We have to reduce stigma. We have to increase access to care. And we have a science of how to do this right. There are evidence-based treatments, and we just have to figure out ways to get those out to practitioners and communities.
You say get this out. Let's talk specifics here. What resources might be available to parents beyond calling the authorities for a child threatening to, say, kill someone in their family, kill one of their friends, kill one of their siblings? I mean, you read a lot of these stories on Facebook over the weekend, people posting these things. Where can they go?
Right, so a week doesn't go by that I don't have a parent who tells me they're afraid to go home, and they can go to community mental health centers. If they're using the internet, they can look for evidence-based treatments for every age we're going to talk about, preschool, school age, even up into the teen years. They're really good evidence-based programs. So childmind.org is one portal into evidence-based treatments, things like parent-child interaction therapy, things like parent management training, things like multi-systemic therapy. Your viewers can start Googling away and say, where can I get these evidence-based treatments, as opposed to what I was taught to do in graduate school, which I would call malpractice now.
Is it too much to expect the schools to take this on for the hours when the students are in their care? I mean, does this have to be something that starts at home, Stephen?
Kids will exhibit problem behaviors home and school. It's not too much to take on the identification of kids whose pathway is already veering off a little bit. Kids with extremely low frustration tolerance, kids with learning problems and learning differences, kids who are withdrawn. There are early warning signs that we can and should pay attention to, and then in a tiered system, reaching out for different degrees of professional help.
I want to try, if possible, to give people a little bit of hope out there, because I think people often wonder, or they feel it's fruitless, right? That there's nothing that's ever going to be able to help their child or stop this behavior. Have you seen children who have been on what you think could be a dangerous path, who have been, for lack of a better word, fixed, who have
Absolutely.
Come out the other way?
Absolutely. Now, if we talk about things like ADHD, we help people manage that behavior. We don't make it go away. But for all of the psychiatric illnesses we might talk about, depression, disruptive behavior, explosive behavior, there are good, effective treatments. Parents learn with their kids how to regulate their emotions. And the problem for us is getting the word out there, but there are good treatments that work. Kids who do get cured, meaning that they still get upset, but they don't explode, and they don't explode against themselves or against society in ways that are obviously just terribly horrific and catastrophic.
Is there research going on right now, Stephen, in the medical community trying to look at why this switch is flipped in some children? I mean, you know, it goes without saying that you'll see a lot of parents who say, I've done everything I can. You look at them, they're good parents. You cannot possibly imagine where a child with this kind of behavior, how they would have learned that at home. So are there scientists that you know looking at, is there some sort of a chemical difference in the brains of kids who might behave this way?
There's research going on at every level. First of all, there are genetic predispositions, things like ADHD, which may be 70-80% heritable. You can calculate the degree to which genes contribute. There's genetic research, there's research on emotional arousal, on things that predispose people to overreacting to things.
Right. You read a lot. I mentioned Facebook and social media, which a lot of people were they were sharing stories over the weekend, listening, looking for information. And one that was going around that went viral was about a mother whose child had exhibited very violent behavior. She's like, you know, I am this kid's mother,
yes.
you know, and I think what resonated is that she had, in many ways, she had a plan in place for her other children in the house. Like if this child the troubled child started exhibiting these behaviors, her other kids knew what to do, which was to go to the car, lock the doors, and get inside. Would you recommend that to parents to have that in place in their homes, or do you think that that makes the other children too nervous around their sibling? What is your advice?
We know from working with discipline problems or emotional regulation problems that consistency and predictability is incredibly important. It served the kids well in Connecticut when their teachers knew what to do and they knew what to do. So there's nothing wrong inherently with siblings having a safety plan. But people do need a plan. They need to know under these circumstances we need to do this, this, and this to protect ourselves. That's in and of itself not treatment.
Right.
Treatment is learning how to re-regulate emotions, and we still have tremendous stigma. We still have reduced access to care. Half of the kids with psychiatric illness right now, as you and I sit here, are going untreated.
Yeah, and you know, we saw a plan in place in that Connecticut school, which probably helped a lot of those kids.
I think so.
All right, thanks so much for being with us,
Thank
Stephen
you.
Kurtz. He's with the Child Mind Institute. Appreciate you joining us.